As dog owners, we never want to see our Pomeranian afraid, but unfortunately, there are several things we may not find scary that are often scary for Pomeranians. To make matters worse, we often do not address the fears right away or address them correctly, making the fear worse and possibly lasting a lifetime. In this video, I am sharing the 8 things that Pomeranians are scared of. It is very common for dogs to be fearful, and it is a natural defense mechanism in the wild where our dogs' ancestors, the wolves, rely heavily on fear to keep them alive. But when fearful behavior poses dangers to our dog and to other family members, or your dog's mental health, we have to intervene. Pomeranians will express fear in several ways. They may shake, pace, whine, bark, cower, hide, or even exhibit signs of fear reactivity, which is often confused with aggression, as well as becoming destructive. So how do you know when your dog's fear has become a phobia? A phobia is an intense and persistent fear that occurs when a dog is confronted with something that they might find threatening, such as a visit to the vet. Some dogs can even anticipate it. As with people who have phobias, this fear goes beyond a rational response. Phobias are often the result of a previous experience. Unfortunately for dogs like Pomeranians, it only takes one negative experience where your dog has felt fearful for it to develop a phobia. We're unable to communicate with our dog what the source of the fear is in a rational manner, what can easily cause their phobias to take on a life of their own. The first thing that Pomeranians are often scared of is being left alone. Pomeranians are prone to separation anxiety and hate being left alone. Pomeranians who suffer from separation anxiety tend to exhibit destructive behavior as soon as their owners leave the house, which can include excessive barking and housebreaking accidents when left alone. There are things we could do as owners to help relieve our Pomeranians' fear of being left alone. Before you leave home, try to stay relaxed and not show stress or anxiety. Also, stay very calm when you return home. This can often relieve some of your dog's anxiety. Another strategy is the process of slowly getting the dog used to being left home alone. Sometimes training your Pomeranian to stay in a crate while you're away may also help. You may also want to discuss this problem with your vet or seek out a gentle trainer that works with dogs that have separation anxiety. Next up is the fear of going to the vet. It is very common for all dogs, including Pomeranians, to be afraid of going to the veterinarian. A dog's first exposure to going to the vet usually involves strange smells, being handled in new ways, being restrained, and getting vaccinations. This experience alone can make a puppy fearful of going to the vet. Luckily, being fearful of the vet may be dealt with simply by bringing a dog to the vet for a few social visits that don't involve an examination, offering lots of praise and treats if your dog remains calm. Up next is a classic fear in many dogs: loud noises. Some of the most common loud noises that Pomeranians can be fearful are thunder, fireworks, loud music, and loud machines like vacuum cleaners. Fear of thunder is very common in dogs. The severity of this fear can differ from dog to dog. Some may just have a mild fear of thunder. In this case, a dog may tremble slightly, or you may notice flattened ears, wide eyes, and a tucked tail during a thunderstorm. Other dogs may have a more severe phobia, which can lead them to hide, become destructive, or even lose control of their bowels or bladder. Similar to the fear of thunderstorms, the loud and unpredictable sounds and light displays of fireworks can make dogs tremble in fear. This fear may even cause a dog to run away and become lost. So we are going to move on now from loud noises to people, specifically strangers, children, or men. These may be all groups of people, but your Pomeranian may be fearful of them for different reasons. A Pomeranian may be afraid of anyone it doesn't know, making it a difficult problem to overcome because it's impossible to teach your dog to accept every possible new person, nor should they trust everyone that they come across. It's important to allow your dog to approach new people in its own time. Forcing a fearful dog to accept a stranger could push a dog to become aggressive. Your Pomeranian may be fearful of strangers due to a lack of socialization when they were a puppy or a negative experience that they've had in the past. Pomeranians develop a fear of children for several reasons. Most commonly, it is due to a lack of early exposure to children. Due to their small stature, Pomeranians are best suited in homes without small children, which could also reduce or eliminate their exposure of children, making them fearful. Pomeranians afraid of children may have had negative experiences with children. While a child's intentions may be good, a dog may interpret overtures of affection as a threat. Some dogs may not understand a child's noises or jerky and uncoordinated movements or their small size. Pomeranian owners who are dealing with a dog with a fear of children should consult a dog trainer or behaviorist to work with this phobia, since it can lead to long-term behavioral issues. Many Pomeranians are fearful of men. It's not always due to being abused by a man, but it can be because of a lack of socialization. Pomeranians can be afraid of a man's deeper voice, large build, facial hair, or even the hat that they are wearing. It may come as a surprise to many that Pomeranians can be fearful of being groomed. If your Pomeranian hasn't started to experience the grooming process as a young dog, they are likely to become fearful of the entire experience. Grooming often requires many different experiences, like being around strangers, being in a strange place, being around other strange animals, getting a bath, trim, nails clipped, plus more. It's best to avoid this fear by acclimating your young Pomeranian to grooming. Pomeranians love to go everywhere with their owners, which can make them very comfortable with traveling and going in cars. But if your Pomeranian hasn't experienced this from a young age, they could be fearful of riding in cars. In addition to the lack of experience, your dog may have had a negative experience in the past, like motion sickness or only going in the car when they're going to the vet or groomers. Positive experience is the best way to overcome a fear of riding in the car. Start by bringing your Pomeranians on trips to places they love to build up their confidence towards going for rides. How do you deal with a fearful Pomeranian? Having a fearful dog can be stressful and frustrating. Treating Pomeranians' fears can take a lot of patience, time, and consistency. Luckily, there are steps Pomeranians owners can take to help their dogs deal with their fears. It's best to speak with your vet first. Unfortunately, fears and phobias can worsen over time and even lead to new fears. Your vet can often recommend behavioral techniques or therapies, as well as medications if needed. If you enjoyed this video, you may enjoy my next video on the 13 weird things that Pomeranians love. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hug your Pom today.